Excuse me. My throat clear. Raise this mic a little bit. Minutes. Om Samukaschaika Dantascha Kapilo Gajakarnakaha Lambodarashchivikato Vignanasho Vinayakaha Dhumaketu Ganajaksho Balachandra Gajananaha Dvadushaitani Namani Yahapate Chunuyadipi Vidyarambe Vivahita Praveshe Nirgame Tata Sangame Sakate Chaiva Vignastasha Nijayate Vignavalikuttaraya Shri Ganadhi Pataye Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya Suyokoti Samaprabha Harinam Kurume Deva Sarvakayeshu Sarvada Shuklam Vadadadham Vishnu Shashivranam Chitubhujam Prasana Vananam Daye Sarva Vigna Upashantaye Labaste Sham Jayaste Sham Kutaste Sham Pura Jayaha Vyesham Indivarashamo Hridayasya Janardanaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Nanaratna Samayuktam Muktahara Vibhushitam Swanasam Asanam Charu Trichatam Pratigritam. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Okay, good morning. Good morning, friends. Santosh here. And let's see who's there. Hi, Maggie. And Sam, Stephanie, Sarah. Great. Crew's here. And it's beautiful up here, friends. And just wanted to say for a little chai and chat. And retreat's happening next weekend. I am going to get some material together and get some emails out today for those that are interested. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coming on Thursday night if you want, or Friday morning early, and we'll start here on the deck next week. It's Karma Yoga too. It's been a little bit of a thing to make adjustments with how this retreat was going to happen and be planned. So it's just been kind of a 2020 thing. Another little announcement is that I'm directing the Maha Soul Teacher Training Program. And we'll start promoting that actually today. It starts in October. And I know most of you probably are already tapped in on all that stuff. But, it'll be live and also virtual. And we may even have a few of those students that are considering the program join us next week. So a little bit of that. And today, for Chai and Chat, probably can't see this backwards, Yoga Sutras of Patanjali Sadhana Pod. This is a really well-worn edition. This is from my teacher Sri Baba Haridas commentary. And the very first sutra, and it's all, sadhana pod. Sadhana means on practice. Pada, book or chapter. Om Tapaḥ Svādhyāya Praṇidhāna Kriya Yogaha. So austerity, self-study, and surrender to the divine constitute Kriya Yoga, the practice of yoga. And so that's going to be kind of our general topic for our practice here this morning. But I want to add, obviously some material to that idea, to Kriya Yoga, but more to tapas, which is heat or burn, restraint, austerity. Svādhyāya, self-study, inquiry, if you will, is another way to look at that. And Praṇidhāna, and I just said Praṇidhāna, that means surrender to the divine. And for our kind of practice in yoga, really what's happening is there's a metamorphosis that's taking place in the practices of yoga when we do them. The yogis, they had a specific word for that idea of metamorphosis, and I'll use this on occasion. It's called Parinama. And Parinama means transformation. And essentially, it's taking a thing and then adding a transformative thing, heat in some way, shape, or form, to create a different thing. And so, like if you boil water, there's water, that's the thing. The heat is the transformative property, that's tapas. And then we get, say, steam or hot water. So that's kind of the general idea around yoga, really, and but it wants to be kind of directed in a, if you will, an illuminated way or a transformative way. And that direction is taking what is tapas, taking what is austerity, and having it do its alchemy, having it do its magic, its transformative medicine, if you will. And then in that transformative process, that's where the inquiry comes in, because we're taking things from one state to another. And typically that process can be, can be challenging. It can, it can be painful because we're holding on to the past and we're moving to a different future, kind of a thing, right? And then to allow, if you will, for the transformation to really embed, would be the best way to put it, is that there just has to be surrender. There just has to be a complete kind of surrender to the process of what's happening. And that one idea can help us complete the cycle of the parinama, going from one state to transformation to a different state. And teachers of mine have said, different things in spiritual states that we get into, states of meditation. At some point you get to this place where you're like, I just got to surrender to this energy, this thing that's happening to me, because I can't really, say, control it. And I want it to do its parinama, to do its magic on me. And so I'm just going to surrender to whatever this is. And so that's really, really important. And that's Kriya Yoga, in the definition of Patanjali's Kriya Yoga, Book 2, Sadhanapad, literally Sutra 1 at Book 2. And so Tapaḥ, Svādhyāya, Aishvara, Praṇidhāna, Kriya Yoga. And so how it's going to show up in our practice today is that we're going to, actually slow our asanas down some. So we'll, hold our forms a little longer. And what will invariably spin up is a desire to change that experience. And that's where the tapas begins, if you will, is there's a desire to be doing something different than what you're doing. And I could go on and on about different types of tapases. But then in that moment is where I'm going to invite the inquiry, the Svādhyāya, the self-study. And in Patanjali, it can be like study of scripture, or contemplation on the self is really the practice. But I'll invite that inquiry, whatever that may mean for you, really. I'm not going to color that at all. And then as that inquiry unfolds, then there'll be the invitation to just surrender. And so what happens in our yoga practice is we practice these techniques, these methods, to create the field of change for our life, our spiritual inclinations, or other things. And so that's all it is for Chai and Chat here this morning. It was 40 degrees when I woke up this morning, and it's maybe 45 or 50, but it's beautiful here in the sun. It's gorgeous today. And next weekend is going to be amazing. So I know some of you have indicated an interest for that, and I'll get all the information, all the pricing. It's going to be just super. So that's all we got. And yeah, thank you again for joining. I'm just going to slip back to my mat. this aside for now. Bring this a little closer. And take the asana, take the seat here. And just gently let the eyes close down when that's comfortable for you, and breathe into the belly. Our diaphragmatic breath, obviously very familiar. One might say that tapas is discipline. Discipline. In the most beautiful of ways, discipline as one is inviting oneself into the realm of self-evolution. And one might say that inquiry is the understanding of the ego. Because the friction that arises from discipline is always from the ego. And then we begin to filter through, who am I? And then the Praṇidhāna, the surrender, one could say that is letting go. So let's set our sankalpas, let's set our intentions, and maybe there's something in there that if you added some discipline to, some austerity, that there would be a revelation of maybe how you've projected, how you've patterned something. And then we offer whatever that is up into the service of the highest welfare of the universe. So there's a surrender, and we surrender with the heart of love and the heart of joy. That's the only way we can get through anything, really. Oh, the sky is so blue. The air is so crisp. We'll chant a couple of ohms as a invocation to our intentions of sankalpa and our practice. So exhale your breathing here. And then take a nice big inhale. And again, another nice big inhale here, please. One more big inhale. One might say, sitting in meditation with an empty mind, committed to stillness, with surrendering the moment to the divine, is the greatest austerity, the greatest tapas that there is. Okay, friends. Thank you for that. It's such a significant teaching. Let's come to a tabletop position here. And so just kind of unravel from your seated position. And let's just begin cow stretches. So Vidhalasana, we know this has. Just inhale, look up, lengthen the front spine, the belly releases down, the sits bones flare, the collarbones stay broad, then exhale, rounding, belly button in, chin and tailbone in. And just connect to that flow, just to kind of open the body here. Begin, as it were. Yeah. And then gently soften that, and let's just circle the hips here. So a little kind of barrel rolling the torso, let the elbows bend, the head can move here. The breath is fluid. And then switch directions. And just being fully kind of like committed to the experience that you're having. free of kind of anticipation, expectation, some of the things that we practiced in, say Karma Yoga 1. And then gently come into neutral position. Let the left hand draw under the face. Inhale, take the right hand to the sky. Swirl of the wrist. Breath is deep. Big inhale. And exhale, floating this right hand through on the inside left shoulder near the mat. Left hand reaches top edge of the mat. Hips drift to the right here. Breathe. And then take a nice big inhale. And exhale this left hand back underneath you, ground it. And inhale, take the right hand up, and we'll switch. So ground the right hand, inhale, float the left here. Breathe deeply, circle the wrist. Yeah, nice big inhale. And exhale, feeding the left hand through on the inside of the right shoulder and near the mat. Right hand reaches, top edge, hips left. Breathing. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, this right hand back underneath you, ground it. Float the left, just opening the body here. And then take the hands off the mat to the right side. Inhale, breath, exhale, arcing left side body, forehead towards earth. Breathe deeply. And then gently, float up to neutral. We'll switch, so hands off the mat. Left side, same thing. Big inhale, exhale, arcing right side body, forehead towards the earth. Breath is deep. And then gently, float up to neutral here. Hands extend in front of you, lungs, hips stay lifted here, but then sink the heart. Bring the forehead, the heart or so towards the earth. Breathe. And then gently, float up to neutral position. Now I'm just going to pivot around here, and we'll extend now the right leg out to the right, like so. We'll do this. And then the hips drift back. Then we come to balance on the forearms here. And just breathe. Notice any momentum or desire to move. And then have a sense of inquiry. And then a sense of surrender. And that's how it works. Gently come up and then ground the left hand. Then inhale, take the right hand to the sky. And just breathe here. And bring the hand to the sacrum here. Heart keeps opening. And gently release here. And then switch this out. So extend the left leg here. Hips draw back and then float to the forearms here. So this is how we create a sense of conditioning, a sense of patterning in the framework of our nervous system, in the framework of our mind. To affect the parinama, to affect the the transformation. Especially now, we're invited to just in perpetual motion. And the yogi is more about perpetual stillness. Come on up to neutral ground, the right hand, then inhale, float the left. Breathe. And then hand to the sacrum here. Keep the heart spinning open. And then big inhale and exhale back to neutral, back to tabletop. Just take a moment, let that integrate. Then extend the right leg behind you, the toes tuck under on the mat, little stretch of the calf and Achilles. Just feeling that. Let the breath come in and be fluid. Let that sustain experience, and then float the right leg and the left arm. Breathe. Yep. And a big inhale. And exhale, rounding, elbow to knee, squeeze it in. And then inhale, sweep open. Exhale, squeeze. We'll do one more of these. Inhale, sweep open. And exhale, squeeze. And release to neutral. Switch. Left leg extends, toes tuck under. Pause here. It's really creating a sense of presence and stability. Float left leg, right arm. You ready? And then here's the tapas. So we're sustaining this. More than normal, but what is normal? That's kind of the question of the practice, if you will. Big inhale. Exhale, rounding, squeeze, elbow to knee. And inhale, sweep. Exhale, round, squeeze. Do one more of these. Inhale, sweep open. And exhale, rounding. And release to neutral. And we'll meet in down dog here. So when you're ready, tuck the back toes under, hips lift, of course, down dog. Fluid breathing. And you can always bring in, right, some of the previous lessons that we've learned in class. I mean, one that shows up right away is your extended exhalation. And that is the form of tapas. One could say release one's, attachment to the experience. So moving back into equanimity. And then child's pose. Gently release to the knees here, hips to the heels. Hands can flow back to the feet, forehead to the earth. And then down dog again here, please. Gently, with the inhale, float to tabletop, exhale. Down dog. And then float now the right leg hip height here, right leg hip height. Breathe here, send the leg back. And then take a nice big inhale. And exhale, right knee to the right elbow, give it a little squeeze. And then inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, knee to chest, give a little squeeze. Inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow, and just hold it here and breathe. And then inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, release it down and we'll switch. So float the left leg, hip height there, send the leg back energetically. So we engage the leg muscles, of course. Breathing. And inhale your breath. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, give it a little squeeze. And then inhale, send the leg back. Exhale, knee to chest, give it a little squeeze. Inhale, send the leg back. And then exhale, left knee, right elbow, give it a little squeeze and just hold on to it. Breathe. Inhale, send the leg back. Exhale the leg down. Breathe deeply. And then walk the feet to the hands, a forward fold here at the top of your mat, Uttanasana. Just take a moment here. The head can stir. Grab the elbows, traction for the spine. Tapaḥ, inquiry, surrender. And then gently half lift here. Discipline. Understanding the actions of the ego and letting go. Inhale the breath. And exhale, folding here. And then again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, folding. And one more of these. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, a little bend in the knees, and then send the left leg back into the lunge. And then bring the hands to the right knee or thigh. Just come on up. Take a minute here. Get comfortable in the stance. And then float the hands and arms over the head. Let the palms face forward here this morning. Breathe deep. A little mobility in the front leg knee. And then bring the hands and arms shoulder height. Let the palms turn up here. Breathe deep. And then let the hands gently go behind you and interlace the fingers. Stay with your breathing. Back heels lifted, quad active. Back leg. Tapaḥ, Svādhyāya, Praṇidhāna. And then inhale, reach to the stars. Next, I'll just gently float all the way out of it. Hands plant, step back into high plank, high push up here. Nicely done. Just breathing deeply. Surrendering to the moment. And soften the intensity of the mind. And at the same time, let it be firm. Let the will be stable here. Big inhale. Next, I'll gently release to the knees. Come to the belly. And then cobra pose. We'll pulse this first a couple of times and we'll hold it. And so inhale, float, torso. Exhale, float down. And again, inhale, float up. Exhale, float down. And then one more of these, inhale, float up and just hold on to it here. Breathe. And a nice big inhale. And exhale, gently release down. Tuck the back toes under. Inhale through high plank, high push up, and exhale back into down dog. Breathe into the back body here. So let the kidney area expand as you inhale. And a little bend in the knees, left foot steps. Pause here. Both the hands to the left near thigh. Get comfortable in your stance. Heel lifting, quad active. And arms float. Breathe deeply. A little pulse in this front leg. And then the arms, again, shoulder height. And then turn the palms up. Stay with the breath. And then elbows. Bend hands behind you, interlace fingers here. Breathe deeply. Then inhale, float hands and arms up. Reach. And then exhale, back foot steps to the top of the mat, forward fold. Yeah. A little bend in the knees, elbows bend and lift and flat back. Standing, bring you all the way up to standing. Reach the hands and arms over the head. Oh yeah, a little sway in the body. And gently just release the hands down by the side, the palms turned open. Let the eyes close here. And just take a moment and take your experience in. And then end up in surrender here, please. Just letting the tissues of the body go. Any judgments, anything. And just be observing and surrender. And then gently inhale, float hands and arms up, reach full tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forward. Chin tucks, hands come down. And then inhale, flat back, lengthen front spine, grow tall. Exhale, fold again. And then swan source to standing again. So inhale, float all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale the breath. Exhale, float hands and arms down so there can be moving surrender as well. Inhale, float hands and arms up, reach. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. That bowing is kind of that reflection of surrender even. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then again, inhale, sweep all the way to standing, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Just really fluid and peaceful movements, breathing and experience. Inhale here at the heart. Exhale, float hands and arms down. Then inhale, sweep up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then send now the right leg back into the lunge. Then inhale, float upper body and arms. And again, reach. Stay with the breath. And then take this left hand to the back of the right leg. And then just float all of that right arm up and back. And lift the back heel. Breathe very deeply here. Yep. Then inhale, float left arm up. Exhale, stay with me here. Left hand to the left waist. We're twisting here, so inhale, reach the right hand forward. And then this right elbow on the outside of near thigh. Left hand covers the right hand. Open the heart to the left. Left shoulder away from left ear. Then open the arms, right hand earth, left hand to the sky. Breathe here. Left arm over the head to the front. Just stay with the breath. Tapaḥ. An inquiry. Surrender. Big inhale. And exhale, gently release into high plank, high push-up. Thank you for your endurance with that. Pause here. And then inhale, float the right leg. Hip height there. And then move the weight to that right arm and do the best you can here. Float the left arm. Breathe. Stay with the breath. And then gently release everything down. And switch it out. So float the left leg first. Pause. Release, send the leg back. Then work the weight into that left arm. And then float the right arm. Breathe here. Stay with the breath. And then gently release the arm and leg down. Inhale the breath. And exhale to the knees. And Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. A little different this time. Inhale, float on up and hold the breath in. And exhale, float down. And again, inhale, float on up, hold the breath. Exhale, float down. 3 more times. Inhale up, hold the breath. Exhale, float down. And again, inhale, hold the breath. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, float on up, hold the breath. And then tuck the back toes under and exhale, lift the hips, down dog. Oh yeah. Breathe deeply here. And then right foot steps, right hand, inhale, float torso. When you're ready, float arms. So now we're just pushing into edges. It's the purpose of tapaḥ. Breathe here. And then float this right arm behind you to the back of the left leg and then just reach up and back. Breathe very deeply. Then inhale, float right arm up. Exhale, right hand, right waist. Inhale, left hand forward. Fist left hand, elbow on the outside into your thigh. Right hand covers the left. Right shoulder away from right ear. Heart opens. Breathe deeply. Then open up here, left hand earth. Right hand to the sky. Stay with the breath. Then draw the right arm over the head. Breathing deeply. Stay with your breathing. Tapaḥ, inquiry, and Praṇidhāna, surrender. Big inhale. Next, release hand and arm down. Back foot steps to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Nice. Nicely done. Hollow out the groins here, so bring the belly button to the spine. Just hold it there. And just keep holding it. And then inhale, half lift, Ardha. You'll bend the knees and then cactus the arms flat back to standing. Reach the hands and arms over the head. Reach tall here. And then from this position, we'll come into a standing back bend. So with an inhale, bend the elbows. So let the heart flourish here. Pubic bone draws back. Squeeze the muscles of the back together. or contract them. You can lean back into it a little bit if you like. Shoulders can begin to move away from the ears in this position, so that'll hug the back ribs a bit, the heart with the shoulder blades. Breath is deep. Breathe deeply. Core stays active here, so lumbar spine is supported. And then inhale, reach all the way to the stars. Come out of it, big inhale. And then very slowly float the hands and arms down by your sides wide. And just kind of feel the pranic body surrounding the torso, the arms, forearms, hands even. Eyes closed, take a moment. Let surrender come through the fibers and the nervous system of the body. Acceptance, our energies, allowing our energies, peacefulness. Maybe see if there's any places that the body's holding to protect itself. And just breathe into that. Let that soften as well. Let your stance be mobile even. So float around in it a little. Let the body just move with the flow of the universe, the breeze. Just become very sensitive to your relationship to the space that's surrounding you. The deeper the surrender, the deeper the access to subtle experience. And then let the hands float behind you, interlace the fingers here. Inhale the breath. Very gently exhaling, hinge folding forward here at the hips. Little bend the knees or big bend. The hands and arms gently begin to float up and over the head here. And just breathe deeply. Continue to surrender into the tissues of the shoulder. Just a perfect pose to process letting go. Yeah, then little gentle release the grip of the hands here, elbows bend, knees bend. And then gently step back into down dog. We'll meet in down dog here. So nice, y'all. And then child's pose. So gently release to the knees, the hips to the heels here. Making your way to child's pose. Just relax. Really nice. And then gently make your way back into tabletop, and we'll meet back into down dog. Breathe deeply. Nourish the body with breath. And we'll find our way into Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1 here. Back heel grounds, of course, so right foot steps to the right hand. Breathe deeply. Arms reach over the head. Sink deep into the front leg, knee. Let the energy of the torso just pivot back a little bit and feel that ground through the back leg. And then a nice big inhale. Exhale the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, inhale the breath. And then exhale, fold into it. So torso on the inside of this right leg, hands and arms over the head. Breathing deeply. Stay with the breath. And then exhale your breathing. Then inhale, float up and out of it. So reach to the sky. And then exhale, lean forward, draw the hands behind you. And then we'll come into airplane pose. So release the back foot, point the heel to the sky, and then just work this weight into this right leg, straighten the right leg, lift the back leg. Hands and arms are down by your side here. You can kind of open the wings a little bit if you like. Breathe deeply. Then bring hands to prayer at the heart. And then peace warrior stance, bend into the front leg knee, release the back foot down. We're here. Oh yeah. A nice big inhale, exhale, hands to the waist. We don't have to travel too far. Inhale, straighten the front leg, and then exhale, pivot 180 degrees to the left. I'll face kind of away from you. Warrior one, going the other way. When you're ready, hands and arms over the head. Breathe in. And take a nice big inhale here. Exhale the hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold the torso. Now on the inside of this left leg. Breathe deeply. Then exhale the breath completely. Then it'll float up and out of it. Warrior one, hands and arms over the head again. And then exhale, lean forward, sweep the hands behind you. Pause here. And then airplane pose, release the back foot, point the heel to the sky. Step the foot in and then come to stand on this left leg. Straighten that left leg and lift the back leg. Then open the wings a little bit here. And then hands to prayer at the heart. Breathing. And then a little gentle bend of that standing leg knee. Release the back foot down. Peace warrior stance. Hands to prayer at the heart. Oh yeah. And a nice big inhale. Exhale, hands to the waist. Inhale, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, pivot. Step the back foot to the top of the mat. Standing surrender. Eyes can close. Joints are soft. Knees are a little bent. So everything is supple and energy of receiving and sending. Sensitivity. We'll go through a flow here together. Just inhale, float, hands and arms reach to the sky. You can open the eyes if you like. Exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Hinging at the hips. Head releases, hands release. Inhale, flat back, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Then inhale, reach all the way to the stars, so all the way back up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Inhale, breath. Exhale, slowly float the hands and arms down. And again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, float down. Half lift here, Ardha. And then exhale, fold down dog. Just gently step back. Breathe deeply. And then pigeon pose, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. Float right leg up. Then right knee towards the right hand. Just release the foot down. Come on to the top of that back foot. Some of you may want to use a support under that right hip. That's fine. We're going to work this though. Before we do that, we'll squeeze into the midline here. Right hip back, left hip forward. And then maybe release the hands like so. And then float the arms to the sky again. Stay with the breath. Oh yeah. And then bring the hands behind you. Interlace the fingers. Heart lifts here. Breathe deep. Big inhale. Next, I'll gently release the hands down and then just send that left leg back and ground onto the right hip. Pause here for a moment. Let the heart flourish here. So that big chested pigeon, the namesake of the pose, really. So it's a back bend, exterior rotation of that front hip. And then let the hands float forward. And then a forward fold. So let the elbows stack just under the shoulders and stay elongated in the spine instead of drooping down in it. And if you want more sensation in the right hip, you can isometrically track the elbows towards the pelvis, and that'll do the trick. Just breathe here. Stay with the breath. Tapaḥ, Svādhyāya, Praṇidhāna. Austerity, inquiry, self-reflection, self-study, surrender to the divine, surrender the ego to the divine, surrender the ego to peace. Surrendering your preconceived notions to the wind. And then gently we'll meet back into down dog here. So just carefully wiggle out of it. You can float that right leg behind you and shake it out a little bit or different things if you want. And then the left leg floats up when you're ready. And then left knee, left hand. Release you down. Again, we'll squeeze into the middle first though. You can just feel how that unfolds. Just down energy so we can release upward. Breathe. And then hands behind you. Releasing. And then release the hands down by the side. Send that now right leg back to ground the left hip. Pause there. Breathe deep here. And nice big inhale. And exhale, just float on down. Forearms and things. Stay with the breath. Tapaḥ, the austerity of sustaining the experience. The inquiry into experience or reactivity. And then the surrender of that reactivity to peace, you know. To acceptance, to allowing, to divine principle. And then we meet back into down dogs. Thank you for that. Down dog. Wiggle that left leg. And then child's pose here. Just gently come down. And then gently inhale, come to stand on the knees here and draw the hands and arms over the head. So big inhale. Heart lifts. Little back bend if you like, core tones, elbows bend. And so this is the offering, the tapaḥ. And then the inquiry. And then inhale, reach to the stars. And then the bowing, the surrender back into child's pose. Surrendering. And then again, one more time, inhale, float up onto the knees, reach the hands and arms to the sky. Let the core stay just a little active, elbows bend. Oh. And inhale, reach. And pranam, so bowing back into child's pose. And then gently, float up to neutral here. And then we'll just make our way onto our back. So kind of come over onto your seat here. And then gently float onto your back. Come all the way down. Let the arms extend long over the head, so full body stretch here. You can point and flex the feet if you like. And then bend the elbows, let the arms cactus, the feet turn open, and just take a moment here. Surrender. And hug the knees into the chest. Give the knees a little hug here. And then we'll come into eagle leg twist. Eagle leg twist. So draw the right leg up and over the left. Wrap maybe around the calf. Shift the hips to the right. The arms are at a T or cactus position. Gently the knees to the left. Very gently. Knees to the left. Gaze to the right. Breathe into the belly. And then gently let the knees float up to neutral. Unravel the legs. Begin to shift the hips to the left. And then the left leg up and over the right. Shift the hips maybe again. And then the knees to the right. Gaze to the left. Breathe into the belly. And then gently let the knees drift back up. Shift the hips and unravel the legs here. Hug them. Hug the knees in. Yeah, and it's come into Viparita Mudra inversion. So block under the hips or ground the hands and lift the hips. Come up onto the shoulder girdle. The body is in a V shape. The hands to the low back. Natural curve in the cervical spine. Your head stays straight. And just breathe. And it's very gently here. Release the hands from the hips. Let the hips float down to the earth. Slowly hug the knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze here. We'll prepare for Shavasana, corpse pose. We'll do our breath holding though. So extend the legs out. Palms turn up. Exhale your breathing. And then take a nice big inhale and hold the breath in and just wait on it. So inhale, hold the breath. And gently surrender the breath out of the body. Relaxing as you do so. We'll do one more of those where we'll pooch out the belly. It's normal, so exhale the breath and then big inhale here. hold the breath, pooch out the belly. And then slowly surrender the breath out. Letting go. Just take this right into Shavasana here, folks. One could say that Shavasana is the practice that results from surrender. A very special state of equanimity and beingness. Of nothingness or emptiness. So very gently let your, if you will, your perception become identified with awareness. There was a question of Babaji at one point in a retreat, and the inquiry was about becoming aware of awareness. And Babaji had that reflection, becoming aware of awareness, allowing your perception to become aware. The ability to do that is accessed through a silent mind, an ego that's in equanimity, and a heart that is peaceful and loving. Let your breath lengthen here and begin to return to the body, little movements and things. Stretching and hugging the knees. We'll come to the left side here, left side. And then to seated when you're ready, coming to seated. Get organized in the seated position. We'll be practicing for another, say, about 20 minutes. Those who may be newer, and for the folks that are used to our practice, will continue. It's going to be a very unique process that I will invite us to explore together. The practice will be of Praṇidhāna, the practice of surrender. Our pranayam will consist of the full yogic breath without a lot of strain, if you will, to inhale deeply. And then once we get to the top of the inhale, we'll retain the breath for a few counts. That's the kumbhak. But then as we exhale, it will be done with the attitude of surrender. Surrendering the inhale into the exhale. This practice is called pravritti and nirvritti marga. So pravritti is the inhale, and this is the path of activation or action, and nirvritti is the path of cessation, the path of surrender. Getting to the bottom of the exhalation, hold the breath out until there's just a modicum, just a little bit of, if you will, strain, and that's the tapas. And then from that point on, very slowly let the belly expand as you inhale for the next cycle, the next kalpa, we'll call it, the cycle of time. So full breath in, pausing. Pravritti marga, the path of action. And then slowly, very slowly exhale, cessation, nivritti marga, the path of surrender, letting everything go, the tissue soften, the spine stay elongated, hold the breath out. Until you get that first little signal from the nervous system to breathe. And then when you do, breathe in very slowly. The tapas is the beginning of the inhale. The inquiry is into the experience that's unfolding as the inhale breath comes in, getting to the top, reflecting, then Praṇidhāna, surrender as you exhale. And then just do one more round. After the one that you're on, that'll complete our pranayama practice. And breathe into the belly. Let the breath subside in its rhythm. And then first bring your awareness to your toes and your feet. And then let them relax and enter into a feeling of surrender in the feet. And then go to the lower legs, the calf muscles and bones, the lower leg, and then surrender. You might even breathe into that space to bring in luminosity. And then bring your mind to your knee joints here. And let the knee joints relax and surrender. And then bring the awareness to the upper legs, the thighs, hamstrings, quads. Surrender. Fill it with luminosity. Bring your awareness to your sits bones, your pelvic floor. And just let go inside. Fill it with luminosity. Fill it with prana. And bring your awareness to your lungs and your heart, your stomach, the torso, the back as well. And just let that surrender, relax, and fill it with luminosity. Let your arms, from your hands to your forearms, to your upper arms and shoulders, all surrender and relax. Fill it with luminosity. And then your throat, let it relax. Your tongue, your eyes in the socket of your head, your eardrums, your nostrils, your face. The entire head. And then just fill it with luminosity. And just recognize that your awareness itself and let awareness become a luminous. And just sustain that dristi the gaze of illuminated awareness, illuminated yoga. Illuminated insight, yoga. Surrender into being. Allow your breath to be illuminated here. Let your hands come to a prayer position at the heart. And then let the fabric of your sankalpa, the fabric of your intention, then be embedded into this sensation of awareness and a state of being, and let it be filled with that joy and presence. Let that connection create a sense of harmony in your heart space here. And just breathe into the vitality of that wisdom of connected awareness. Oh, and the peace that exists in the heart, and it's really in the rapture of yoga sadhana. Tapaḥ Svādhyāya Praṇidhāna. Just chant a little om inside your head, just inside the head and the heart space. Just put an om in there. Just a gratitude for the time that we share here in our practice, and gratitude to the ability to connect in this virtual way, and to yoga and its brilliance. Namaste. So thank you, friends, so very much for practicing, with me here this morning, Shiva Live streaming, and for reals, next weekend retreat here. And definitely appreciate your patience with me. And there's all kinds of little backstories around my scheduling here, these last couple months. But yeah, and at some point, as you go through your day today, since the practice is, still living and breathing inside of you, find a moment of surrender into your day at some point, where you're just letting go whatever experience you may be having. Just let go, and then allow that to guide you into a sense of being, a sense of presence. And yeah, super. So yeah, thanks for shouting out, Crystal. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone that's on the call. It's sun's kind of in my eyes here, and so we know how this kind of concludes. Love, always love, peace, everyone. Namaste.